Hi, and welcome to That's a Thing, episode .08, February the 13th. Happy Valentine's Day to all you lovely people out there.
Is that when Valentine's Day is?
February 14th is tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Cause I don't know anymore what days are. It's because when my name is Kevin Brown, also known as Rayliff on the Twitter.
And he's joined by Drew or False on Twitter.
Yeah, it's just us two this week, or maybe it's just us one this week.
Or maybe there's a third person who also sounds like us.
Hello, my name is
Squidward.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know days anymore. Other than I have the problem where I know some Saturdays I know because you come over and we do the podcast. This is when we record this on Saturdays.
No, what are you talking about? It's totally Wednesday right now.
No, we're breaking kayfabe. Listen, we record this on Saturday, so I know that's Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday I go over to my dad's and we either watch sports and then eat a pizza. And then it's kind of, I don't know the rest of the week. And then Thursdays are fighting game days. And then we go back to another mystery day. And then, because that's kind of the rest is just business as usual. And I think it's also holidays stopped mattering to me.
I know the big ones. I don't know when St. Patrick's Day is.
Well, that's what I mean. Those, to me,
those nebulous ones.
To me, Valentine's Day, I don't know. I don't know. So, I'll be at the grocery store, and then they'll have a lot of Valentine's Day stuff.
Yeah.
I'm I wonder when that is.
It's in February.
And this is February, right? And I don't know. So, Drew, how's your week been going?
It's all right.
Anything cool?
I watched Annihilation, and I also watched The Man Who Knew Too Little.
Okay.
Annihilation is
nice
nice to look at.
I've heard conflicting things about that
It's
movie.
okay, but the final bits, it gets crazy in a really good way.
Because I know the spoilers of it.
Yeah.
Because it seemed
Do you want to do spoilers or not?
Yeah, okay. No, I don't want to put tags in here. We're just gonna talk around it.
Okay.
It just seemed like a movie that was a little slow to me. There's a kind of slow that personally I don't like in movies unless you're really it has to be a 10 out of 10 and it's slow, then I'll watch it. But if it's okay and it has some slowness, I can't handle it.
This one, it is slow and the plot is okay. But it's nice that it's slow because the set pieces are what you're watching.
Yeah, well, I understand where you get those sort of things. I like the deal of it. I like that you're basically getting the strange journey Shin Megami Tensei of here's this zone, here's this weird zone of influence. Whatever we put in there ain't coming out.
Yeah.
What's in there?
It's also, I found out it's wildly different from the book it's based on.
Well, a lot of movies are like that.
Because I think they saw this trilogy of books and there's no way we're getting all of these to film. So they just crammed everything together and pumped it out.
Drew, are you excited for Alita Battle Angel?
Kind of.
Yeah, I think I might Netflix it, to be honest.
I will see it at the secondhand theater.
I still think that movie would have been better if they made Alita not look weird. I get why, because she's supposed to be a robot.
I think they should have made everyone look weird.
Okay, well, there's a consistency.
It's just, and I don't like how realistic everything looks. That kind of bothers me.
It's a lot. I think it's the people fall into the trap of. We should have said this last week on reboots and adaptations.
Hey, let's do a reboot podcast this week
about reboot. But it's you're taking things that were designed to be drawn and trying to translate them one for one.
Yeah.
And a lot of things look stupid. One of my examples, I think actually no, I'm stealing this from my dad. Is that Superman looks fine, holding out his arms flying in a comics and a cartoon, but a real human being just holding out their arms and just going up kind of looks stupid.
Yeah, but also, how else are you supposed to fly?
Well, no, you hold your arms back.
Oh, you
like
do the Naruto run.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, you mean the Vegeta?
Yeah.
Arms.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Or it's the solution they did was just the whole Iron Man, where you have the jets.
Yeah, that works too.
I've always liked that.
Or the Thor, where it's like you throw a hammer.
Yeah.
It's a carry through of momentum.
Yeah.
You want the momentum to be noticeable, because Superman could just be like, no, I'm up and away.
Yeah. Or
up and away.
Or the other DBZ cheat is you give them like an aura around them.
That helps.
Because then I'm like, okay, then they're
again, it's momentum.
Yeah.
You got the ball aura that's trailing.
Yeah,
up.
I always like that.
Yeah,
I always thought that was cool. That's one of my favorite things of Dragon Ball Z was whenever like they would fly and then they'd kick it up and the aura would show up.
And the fact that like different characters have different color aura.
Yeah, like
that does a lot.
That's always been cool to like the things I've always liked about Dragon Ball Z that like touch my primordial like 8-year-old is the auras. I like the beams whenever they're doing stuff like. Even though I love it when Goku puts out the energy balls underwater and then comes up and then shoots them. Like Yamcha's little orb thing he did, I always thought was like the coolest attack.
Anytime Krillin curves his beams.
Yeah.
Stuff like that's non-conventional. Also, the just firing them, where like Raccoon or Piccolo just open their mouth and.
Yeah, I like the spit. It's weird because Dragon Ball Z has like no techniques. Everyone's is either punch.
It's all self-taught.
Yeah, it's all like you punch really hard or you shoot a laser.
Yeah.
So in that limited thing, whenever someone does something different, I'm always like, ooh. But if it was in another show, I would think I would not like if you went to Hunter x Hunter and Gon's super technique was he shot the punch. Actually, no, that's okay. But like he just like punched to the left. I'm like, I don't know. It's like I've never liked that Rurouni Kenshin's ultimate attack was he stepped with the left foot.
Yeah, but think about it. He draws that sword so fast, creates a vacuum
effect.
If
you block it, that's the ultimate technique. Or no, you can't block it. Because that sets up for the
But I mean, look at all the great techniques in that show. I mean, Saito's is just not just stabbing a straight line.
Yeah, but that's cool. Or that stupid punch where you
punch with your knuckles first and then you roll it. Or the ultimate where you punch with your fingertip and you roll the whole thing.
Yeah, that's dumb. So what about that movie?
The other one, The Man Who Knew Too Little, is Bill Murray visits his brother in England who needs to get him out of the house for a night and sends him to this interactive theater experience that's supposed to be on the streets of London. But then instead he gets sucked into a conspiracy of restarting the Cold War.
Oh, so
it's one of those dumb coincidence.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But I love those movies, and Bill Murray is sarcastic Bill Murray and not sad Bill Murray.
Well, there's good. Well, yeah, it's. You mean when he was good? There's Bill Murray. There are Bill Murray movies where he is still trying, and then you see where he is tired and sad.
Well, there's a YouTube channel, I don't remember which one, that said and now it's sad Bill Murray who did this so he could avoid being cast as sarcastic Bill Murray. And I agree, but I like sarcastic Bill Murray more.
I do as well. It's like whenever you see a Nicolas Cage movie and he's not playing crazy Nicolas Cage, and you're like, no, I want him to be yelling and screaming. I want the Mandy descent into madness. They knew.
I still haven't seen that.
I want to.
Yeah.
Because I know that's a movie I know that starts slow, but the whole point is you start slow because you're amping it up to 11, and because the slowness, it makes it seem like a 15.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm okay. If you tell me no, we going to Nutstown. I'm not even going to talk about the trailer of that movie because I think it ruins parts of it.
See, I didn't even see the trailer for it.
Don't.
So
it's one
if there's movies I want to see, I watched the initial teaser, which is now a minute and a half long.
Yeah,
and that gives me what I need.
It depends. It's kind of I think video games are somewhat. Actually, no, I just watch video. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care. But yeah, so that's been going. You have anything else? Anything of note? Anything you've been watching or doing?
I also started reading the Ghost in the Shell manga.
How does it compare?
I like it. It's a lot more goofy.
I hear it's like it's one of those where like
it's like Pat Labor.
Yeah, where
I really like it. I also really like his colors. Like it starts out like every chapter starts with like so many color pages is not unusual for mangas.
No, that's what they do.
But it's weird because normally I don't like gradients and stuff because it just always feels bad and muddy. But the way he does it,
I like a good gradient, but only when it's done in that kind of way, like Mononoke, where you have the gradient and it's like you're cut out. Like I adore the we use the Photoshop layer and we put one behind them and they're just you see the cloth texture as they move. I was like that.
That's not what I mean by gradient. I mean like a color gradient of where it's just like shifting from one color to the other, like Fujiko's hair and.
But I like that.
Well, yeah, but sometimes it's just not good, especially when bad.
Well, it's because when too many people use it, you use that like once or twice. You use it similar to a highlight to bring your attention to something. But when everything looks like that, you get in that problem solvers.
But see, he uses it on everything, and it looks good. And it's weird because normally whenever people do it, especially with the color palette he does. It can feel muddy, but it's clean and nice. And Ghost in the Shell manga is good.
I won't read it.
That's fine. And also, like they put out that like new deluxe hardcover, which is super big, so it's nice.
Yeah. Oh, we should probably. I should let you know. Drew more likes reading and fancy things.
I think you call Ghost in the Shell fancy.
Compared to what I do. It's fancy.
Yeah.
No. Like it's you gotta have a cross section.
I also went clothes shopping this week.
I gotta do that next week.
Yeah, I got this shirt. It's nice.
I gotta go buy pants because my sister's having a wedding.
Ooh, mazel tov.
So no, in like 2 weeks. So I will probably have to do a weird recording podcast because in a few while I won't be here on Saturday.
Okay.
But I'll have to
We can just record 2 1 week.
Yeah, we
That's
might.
Weird.
I think that'll probably be next week. We'll probably have to do the non-specific one about something. It could do whatever.
And then the only other thing I did this week was Apex Legends.
Yeah,
which I finally remembered the name of and didn't call Anthem.
I would want to call that thing Apex Champions. And like the Apex I get, but when I Google searched it, I Google searched as Apex Champions, and then you get some weird Chinese mobile game, and I'm like, no, what's that game? It's Apex something.
Yeah, the Beastcast, Alex was talking about how no, there's just a game called Apex, and they're still licensed, so that's why it's not just called Apex.
It's in technically you're saying it's top legends or top champions. Or
it's like the top Predator,
the Apex. What do you think about that as a battle royale?
I like sliding a lot in that game.
I don't know how I feel about that game. I think I see where it is because you have Fortnite, which is the free battle royale. So you had PUBG, which is the paid-for battle royale.
Yeah.
And then you had Fortnite, which is the free battle royale, and then the free third-person kind of buildy, different but still that same kind of mode. And then you had Call of Duty, which was the first-person, basically PUBG that was stable.
Yeah.
But you still had to pay for it,
and still also toned down how much gear there is.
It made it more arcadey, I would say, because
more casual.
Yeah, because you didn't have to. Every gun didn't have bullet drop. I think Call of Duty, only the snipers do, but normal guns don't. But there's whatever. And Apex feels like
the heroes.
It feels like it's the free to play Blackout, where you're still getting that PUBG, right? But you're getting it for free. But the game is for the most part stable. You're not having that PUBG jank.
Yeah.
That game, there's some connection issues, and we had microphone issues.
Yeah, I think that's probably just I have a weird setting on my PS4 that I haven't turned off.
Yeah, but what I mean is like I've still gotten kicked of matches and had like getting kicked, but like when you're playing that game doesn't feel like it's chugging.
Yeah.
Like if you can watch like you can watch people do like giant bomb quick looks or whatever of like the Xbox version of PUBG and how that game looks like it is struggling.
Yeah, that is a game they definitely wanted to get pumped out in time for the holidays, and maybe they shouldn't have.
Because that game looks like it is struggling and janky.
Like, PUBG on the PC is already not super stable. It is still really weird, but...
And then you see like Fortnite and Call of Duty and Apex. They run fine.
Yeah.
And the graphics look fine. Like PUBG doesn't even look that good. It's like...
Yeah, but even like PUBG on the PC doesn't really, and that's kind of its motif, though. That's how it's supposed to look.
Yeah, well,
you can tell it started life as a mod.
Yeah, but and Apex. It's just like I think
I wish it had more characters.
It's hard for me to explain because like I'm looking at it and so like between the two EA games, I just have to get this thought out.
Okay.
It's Anthem and Apex. Like, Apex is probably the better game, but if I had to pick one, I would probably pick Anthem, even though I haven't played it. And I think it's because there's the Battle Royale and the kind of team thing.
Yeah.
It just... I don't know.
See, I disagree. Like, just because of how boring Anthem looks.
Well, it is look boring.
I like the idea that the spin that they're putting with Apex. God, I can't call it Anthem.
Yeah.
I like that. I kind of wish though that since you're already like hero-based people anyway, that like you didn't have to scout for weapons and stuff. I think it'd be nice to just drop down 3 people and now you have to kill all the other people. I
honestly kind of wish...
And maybe if the powers were bigger.
Like, so what they're doing, and I think this would be a change that Fortnite does that I'd rather this game have.
Mm-hmm.
Where this game wants you to, like, your gun is basically... Like, in Fortnite, there's there's, like, white... It's the standard MMO loot. There's, like, white, blue, purple, orange.
Is there green?
Is there a green? I
thought there was.
Oh, there might be a green. It might be white, green, blue, purple. Yeah, it's WoW. The WoW rarity is white, green, blue, purple, orange.
Sure.
Like level 1 through 5.
Yeah.
And with this game, like, your guns are level 1, but all the attachments are where the levels are.
Well, you can still find...
Yeah, but
leveled up guns.
Yeah,
too.
and those usually are just full. What those mean is they're all fully equipped.
Oh, okay.
So like you're getting the golden gun in Apex is basically the regular model with gold attachments, like you have the best scope, the best magazine, the best barrel to it.
Also, I gotta say, like the team-based nature of this game made me feel like I have to just pick up everything I find immediately, otherwise my squad mates will. But then this morning it came to the realization of like, wait, I'm really bad at these games anyway. I should let my squad mates get all the good stuff and then myself just pick over the carcass for what remains.
Yeah, and I think by forcing... So one of the things I've always felt with video games, and it's why I think fighting games have a hard time of getting people just to get in there, is by this game forcing a team, that means that you can get carried and not... Like, your loss, you can basically... You can blame your team, or your team can cover your mistakes, which eases that loss. And I think that's smart, because people are like... A lot of people I see on Twitter are like, yeah, I won at Apex. And then you'll see the score screen, it'll be like 1 kill, 12. And you're like, oh,
yeah, you won it.
Apex.
You watch that stream rebroadcast, you see they die immediately, and then the other guy
has revived them twice because he's like, oh, I just need that.
He's got those strong shoulders. He's Atlas.
Yeah, and I think it's because maybe like I got all my Battle Royale out with Call of Duty that I don't like. This game, to me, it feels enough like the Blackout where I'm like, it's like the abilities are neat. I'm not gonna get like, I think that's neat.
I think that's a good idea. Again, like I say, I kind of wish they were more amped up. It feels like a fighter where everyone is a Shoto, but tweaked.
It's Mortal Kombat 2 where what makes you good is your specials.
Mhm.
Like, because Mortal Kombat 2, everyone had the same normals.
Yeah.
But, Melina has an air teleport, air fireball, and a ground fireball. That's why she's top tier.
Kano can curl into a ball.
Yeah. When you have some people, it's like, nah, they don't got nothing. It's like, no, I got a teleport and all kinds of crap. But and that's balancing, and I get that. But it's just like, and I think the graphics are fine. Some people were like really hating on the character design.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like there's a bad lighting engine or something.
I think there's a trailer where they all look like the trailer. They give everyone this weird shader.
Yeah, it's like the same problem KO14 and MVCI had, but toned way down.
But in game they look fine.
Yeah.
Like, in game, the characters look fine, but in the trailer, some of them look really weird because they put like a weird kind of like sketch like they want to give them like a kind of a comic booky kind of painting-y sketch texture, and it doesn't animate quite right, and it kind of makes them look like it makes everyone's skin look weirdly like blotchy instead of like, oh, you see like his tanks. It makes you look like, oh, that guy has.
Especially the Void Girl, like she's already so pale, so like she looks greasy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Everyone looks kind of like which I guess makes sense if you're living out in the wild land. And your football is a death game.
Yeah.
But it's like I still think it's worth trying.
It's free. Why
it's
not?
free. I think it's good. I haven't played it since we played a little bit. I'm trying to play with Nolan, but our schedules just don't align.
Yeah, that will basically be my last ride for that game is when I have two players I can actually talk with the entire matches.
Yeah, like
Also, it made me realize how bad I am at not fighting game video games.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's also like you haven't played a lot of those style.
I've never
games.
played shooters.
You haven't played shooter and battle royale
except for Splatoon. I played a lot of Splatoon.
Like it's one of those things where I realized I've played probably 20.
What about 100 Inklings?
That'd be actually
parachute onto a deserted island.
No, I'd be
deserted mall.
I'd be interested. Calling me interested.
Yeah.
But that's.
Also, I tweeted it. When's the Twisted Metal Battle Royale game?
Oh, I still want Madden Battle Royale. Think about it.
Twisted Metal is already a Battle Royale, but 100 Twisted Metal.
It's also weird because EA feels like it's doing the same thing it did for Titanfall 2, but with reverse. Because this game, Destiny's coming, and Anthem, that should say something, is coming out in a couple weeks, and this game came out and apparently is doing gangbusters. I feel who's going
they basically just shot themselves in the foot.
Again. Because last time they released Titanfall, and then they said, Battlefield's the same day. We're making it compete against,
I would be so mad if I was on the Anthem dev team.
I feel like the Anthem dev team is, the writing on, if that game, I
think EA is we want to kill BioWare.
We want to,
we want to kill them. But, Anthem, I don't know. Destiny's big, isn't it? I don't know, boss. Sure.
Kill them. That felt like there's a video about EA. It was a Jim Sterling video, and he talked about how Battlefield 5 sold 7.2 million units and was a disappointment.
Yep, I saw that.
You saw that?
Yep, I saw that.
And I was like, "What are you doing?" That to me, that means one, you're lying to your stock people, and two, you're horribly over budgeting.
Yeah, it's AAA game studios do the stupidest garbage, where they get they spend. I don't know. I don't even know where they spend their money.
It's it's
celebrity voice acting, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra for your soundtrack.
those hyper fidelity graphics.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, like that game did 7.4 million.
Yep.
That's really good.
Yeah.
But then it's like
Not good enough.
No, but it's like, yo, Nier Automata sold like 1 million. It was gangbusters.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's I don't understand. I'll transition into my week. I did some Apex. Because Hitman was free for PSN, I started playing some Hitman, and I completely understand why that was Giant Bomb's game of the year. I wouldn't say it's my game of the year.
This is Hitman 1.
New Hitman 1.
Yeah, Paris.
So yeah, that one. You get all of them.
Yeah,
you
get
just
the whole
gotta
season
download
one.
per episode, which is kind of weird. So like
Yeah.
you'll be playing the campaign and you'll get to a thing and it says like acquire part 2, and you have to go into like the Hitman menu and then download, because it's episodic, so
Yeah.
you kind of have to download all the episodes at once, and it's a little janky, but that game is janky.
I believe it, but I also have to say I downloaded it. I haven't touched it yet, and I don't know that I'm ever actually going to touch it because I think I've got my Hitman feel just watching the Giant Bomb crew play it.
So you've done the thing where you've watched enough of an LP that you don't need to play it?
I think it would be fun to do the Giant Bomb like Hitman challenge thing where it's target, costume, weapon, and then outlier.
Yeah, like kill 3 people or
you dump 5 bodies in the ocean.
Yeah, and and like what I like about it and what I can understand is that the game. So what I'm trying to do is I'm playing the map with first without using any of this, without it telling me any of the special things. Because what you can do, so like in one of the maps, it's like this is like an objective for every map, so it's not really a spoiler. But you can find one of your targets and basically mix them a cocktail, poison it, give it to them. Like that is almost in every map where one of your targets wants to drink a beer.
They're boozers.
Or just a champagne or a food or whatever, and you poison the food. And you can go into the menu and select it, and it will say like, find
here's how to do it.
It'll be like poison is in the lowercase thing. It'll put a marker, and then it's up to
here's
you
the
to
kitchen.
Like get a guard, go to the kitchen, grab the poison, put it in the food, dress as a waiter, serve the food.
So you're instead just exploring the map yourself, trying to observe and overhear the
things,
but
not track it.
Yeah.
And some of them it's also like sometimes instead of trying to do the fancy thing, like if I got a guy in a room, I'm just gonna stab him.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And there's been some of those where it's just been like, there's one where it's just this lady was in a room with one dude. So what I did is I
stabbed both of them.
No, what I did was I flipped the coin in the corner so they both looked. I choked out the lady. I threw a hammer at the other man to knock him out. Then I cracked the neck and threw her in the thing. I just walked out.
There you go. But have you become Helmut Kruger yet?
Yes, I did. So that's the level because what I'm trying to do is I do the level quote unquote my way first, and then I go back and try to do like the special way, the fun stuff, and I turn on all this. Basically, it's just like turn on everything, tell me what to get weird, and you become Helmut Kruger, and it's great. You're just walking around, and I did the runway. Where Hitman, he just goes on the runway. It's great.
So, okay, I think the best way, tying back into The Man Who Knew Too Little, I think that is the actual Hitman movie. If you want a Hitman movie, it's that movie.
I watched one of the Hitman movies, and I will say it was very bad.
I believe it.
I
forget there are multiple ones.
Oh, God. I watched one. I don't even remember which one. It was bad. There was one scene, and this is me trying to like cherry pick like gold from garbage. Is there was one scene I thought was really neat where like it showed him like walking into a room and like actually setting up like an accidental assassination, and I was like, oh, that's just like the game where he goes and it kind of like zooms in on each part, and you see him like he goes, he like tampers a thing, and then he hits like a thing just enough so like when the guy walks in and turns on the fan, the rattling will shit. It kind of this Rube Goldberg. Yeah, and I'm like, that's like if that was the movie, if the movie was like 80% just that, I would have been like, that's a good Hitman movie.
Yeah.
And then the final boss is then him trying to do that to the evil Hitman. They're both trying to set up their Rube Goldberg devices against each other.
They're trying to set up Rube Goldberg's inside Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah, so like the guy...
He's looking at the hammer he wants to pick up to like loosen something, but he sees the thread tied to the hammer. There's a giant anvil over the hammer.
He picks up the can of expired spaghetti, but there's a grenade in there, so he pulls it back and it'll hit and then explode.
There's a bomb in the lasagna.
But yeah, like I think the game does a very good job of saying we have here's a task, figure it out.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of ways to do it.
It's a very good open world game.
Yeah, it's what I'd like. So I did that. I watched 2 episodes of that anime. I was turned into a slime or whatever.
I have no interest in isekai.
I wanted to see, like, I'm conflicted on that sucker because it's the best isekai.
No, it's not.
Okay, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
No, I was going to say Digimon.
Digimon? Well, the isekai genre started with Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. I just told that a tweet when someone was talking about the blatant main character power-ups in the isekai genre as literally Santa Claus shows up and gives them special powers and flies away.
Yeah, there you go.
But, like, for anime, it's like the parts of that show I really like but then it has like it bothers me because it's just like you're almost a good show, but then you have stuff where it's the blatant video game skills sort of things where the people are like, oh, I need to use my sense magic skill. Like that's a line said, you know? Like it'd be like in D&D. Because all of these are sort of based on that kind of D&D.
It's things that the
players say,
but the character would not.
My wizard doesn't go, let me cast sense magic to see if there's a trap. He just goes, hold on, I'm checking if there's a trap.
Yeah.
I need to activate my stealth ability.
Technically, there are like spoken and verbal parts of spells your character says in D&D.
Or they say what they're doing.
But there would be it'd be like cool by the hoary hosts of Hoggoth.
Yeah, there's a difference between and don't get me wrong, I think X-Men would be better if Cyclops yelled, "Behold, optic blast." But like, there's things where what am I trying to say? Like Berserk or something, he doesn't go like, "Time for my triple slash." He just does it.
Yeah, he just triple slash.
He just does it, or he turns or the armor. But in this one, it's the characters talk like player characters.
And
I don't like. Good. But then there's elements I like. I like the fact that like he starts off as a slime and can't see because slimes have no eyeballs.
I guess that's true.
He can't see. He can't hear. So and the whole thing is trying to adapt to the slime body and gradually. Because his whole thing is whenever he eats something, he like absorbs it and gains its power, which is both like a dumb ability.
So he's Kirby.
Yeah, but a really strong ability.
Yeah, he's Kirby.
Because he's a person and slimes don't have brains. And that's his power is like, and I like the idea of a typical slime is not a threat because it can't think.
Yeah, it's just gonna jump around.
But if you have a person who's like, no, I'm gonna eat this, and I'm gonna eat this, and I'm gonna be able to use the snake's poison with my own body, and now I'm poisonous, and now I'm gonna get eaten by something, kill it from the inside, that sort of thing.
Sure.
Like, that's kind of where the show's at its best, but then the anime happens, and you're like, And it's just, in general, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's just in that show.
What else?
I have very little interest in fantasy anime, and then it's an isekai too, so I have extra low interest.
I think it's weird about fantasy anime because fantasy used to be like my favorite genre.
But now it's just like generic.
And I like generic fantasy. Like
I don't.
I mean like the typical Dungeons and Dragons and Dragonlance. I really liked, but I think it's because I like one of them. Right? So like I read a bunch of Dragonlance books. I'm not gonna read like another bunch of Dragonlance books. It's kind of like I like Dragon Ball Z. I'm assuming you like Dragon Ball.
I like Dragon Ball Z.
I don't want to watch another show that's Blag and Blah Blee. You know?
I like One Piece.
No, but One Piece isn't Dragon Ball. Like it's actually more Dragon Ball, but it's not like exactly that.
Yeah, it's not 1-to-1.
Like,
it's clearly inspired by, but it's not.
And those are like the like I'm fine with those kind of fantasy settings where it's like we saw a little bit, but we made it unique or different. But where it's like it feels like I'm watching Ragnarok online. Or one of the like or one of those where it's like
they forgot the thing that makes their world unique and special.
And it's just nothing. Like it's the kind of thing where it's like everyone's playing this virtual MMO or whatever, but if you look at the mechanics of it, there's nothing that like why you'd be playing that. Like if someone were to say like here's like even if it's like
oh no, obviously it's just free to play.
It's free to play, it's VR. It's like World of Warcraft is kind of generic, but there's a bunch of weird stuff going on. Like it's not hyper. There's still like robots and weird stuff, and it's not.
It also has its foot in the door early.
Yeah,
you can be generic if you get in early.
Warhammer's also kind of Warhammer. Warcraft stole from Warhammer, but Warhammer's like there's a weird kind of like it's not based on like. It feels dirty, and I think that's kind of where.
Yeah, it's the same thing like Star Wars has.
Yeah, like
that's sci-fi that's actually lived in and grimy.
Yeah, like none of the worlds in the isekai feel like grimy. There's no like it feels really clean.
Yeah, it's too polished.
Yeah, it's like
I'm that wabi sabi.
It's like I'm looking at a Tales of whatever game. Where everything's a little too clean and pristine. Even it's like in that show, it's like, here's the dirty goblin village, and it looks cleaner than any of the villages in Dororo.
Even the poop looks clean.
Yeah, where it's kind of like, it's like, your wasteland looks weirdly idyllic. It's like, I wouldn't mind walking around there.
Yeah, that's a nice Sunday afternoon right there.
We're like, in the Warhammer novels, they spend paragraphs describing how bad it smells in the city. They're like, I go here and I forgot the stink.
Yeah, no, it's here. It's like, oh god, it smells awful. What do you mean? They used lemon scented cleaner instead of pine.
Yeah. And the other guy's like, the smell of urine and feces. I'm back home on the streets. It's like, ugh. But yeah, so I watched that. I'm just animes going. I think that's it. I watched Plague's new cartoon that came out today about Pokemon.
Oh, see, I saw the drawing and I figured the video was just a drawing.
This is the cartoon.
Okay.
See, the Art Gripes videos are like 20 minutes long. This is 3 minutes because it's a cartoon. Mm-hmm. Because even though Plague's a man, so I tried making cartoons. I downloaded the program. And I forgot why. I stopped because it's a lot of work.
Yeah. What? How many were you doing? 11 per second? 11 frames per second?
I was doing
2 frames a second.
I was doing 24 on the 2s. But listen, that's 12. That's 12 per second because you double it.
Yeah.
But man, that's hard.
Why don't you just try doing keyframes?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But even still, it's like I can draw a comic. If I have the idea, I can draw a comic and I'm just copy pasting, which I do a lot because sometimes that's all it needs and I'm lazy. But a comic can be done between 10 and 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's basically 10 minutes a panel.
Yeah.
Roughly. And but when a drawing that would even for 1 second at 10 minutes is still 100. 1 second of animation at my current level of art is, if you consider 24 then you cut it down. That's 120 minutes or 2 hours.
Mhm.
So 2 hours for 1 second. And if you want 1 minute, then we got to times that 60 for 2 hours. So that's a grand old like 60. It's like 120. No, what am I trying to do? So okay. I'm trying to do
10 minutes for each drawing.
Yeah.
You're doing 24 drawing. You're doing 12 drawings a second, so it's 120 minutes,
which is 2
2
hours.
hours a second. So 2 times 60 is 120 hours
Yeah.
per minute.
So
Which is what, like 5 days? 5 days. So yeah, you knock it out in a week.
and that's for
Of
1 minute.
continuous drawing.
And that's frame by frame, right? And you can cheat. So let's just say, like, I can cheat. So that 5 days being cheating will cut down to about like 3 days. And that's like reusing frames and like doing the thing where you draw the thing and you just draw the mouth and you kind of
And that's not 3 work days. That's 72 hours. That's continuous work.
That's why I can't do it. Like, and that's 1 minute.
Yeah.
And that's basic. And I was like, oh, animation's hard.
Yeah, it is, but I love it.
Oh, it's. I respect it. I respect anyone that dares to go down that hole. Are we done?
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is Evo Japan is next week. Watch that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Next week, I mean this coming Friday.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forget how weeks work.
No.
Yeah, that's how we dub them. We back. Anyway,
Yeah.
Later days.
Later days.
Drew said that from Weekenders, and now we're stealing it. We're co-opting it. It's ours now.
I didn't want you to say where it was from, so it could be like the inside joke for people who knew.
Nah, you gotta let them. This whole podcast is linked to like no one listens to.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted the subtle stolen thing.
No, like it's layers. Like you steal and then you steal.
It's not layers anymore. You're just bringing everything to one layer.
Oh, now you know. You're 1 layer deeper. Later days.
One layer upper.